Internet. I realize it's been a very, very long time since the last time you saw me. And I realized that the last time you saw me, I was bordering on what I think medical science would probably call deranged. Internet. I know it's been a long time, once again, since I recorded, but I've had a lot of stuff going on, personal trouble, that kind of thing, mostly related to anxiety and insomnia. But I'm at home now. It's the end of winter, but I'm at home now. I'm taking a break from school, semester break, and so I will be at home for at least till fall. And I realized I didn't do a lot of vlogging over Christmas or anything, so let's catch up. First of all, how was Christmas and New Year's and Valentine's Day and I think that's all the holidays I've missed. Mine were good. Saw some friends. Went and saw family. Got some nice presents. Got art supplies. Video games. You know, usual stuff. Pardon me while I drink. I have been very busy working on my art stuff in the meantime because I have the time to do it now, and my life is a lot less depressing because of that. And I've made some very interesting things. And I also opened an Etsy store. I'll put a link in the description or whatever, so you guys can go check it out if you want to. It's mostly jewelry, and like steampunk stuff and weird shit like that. I've been messing around with making jewelry out of animal bones and beads and just odds and ends and things like that. And I painted a deer skull. He's not for sale, but if you'll allow me to walk off camera, I have another one. He's partial and I can't get him to stand upright yet, but I have this one and I'm going to paint it pretty soon here, and I will probably put him up for sale as soon as I can figure out how to make him balance, because half his face is missing, which is a real shame because he was in one piece at one time, and I know that for a fact. But he sat in my aunt's garden for a long time, and I had to clean him and just, yeah. But he does have one eye socket, so I named him One-Eyed Jack. Don't look at me that way. You do the same. But tripping over things. I also now have a very large, you can see some of it in the background, a very large space for all of my weird art stuff. I'm on the 3rd floor of my house at the moment, and it has become my studio, which I'm going to do a little rotational pan around so you can see it all. I'm calling it the Tower, and it is a very wondrous thing for me to have this space. I've got a table over there. All my art junk is lined up on this wall. Sorry for the blinding light, but that's my lamp, and I had to take the shade off it because it casts shadow over everything I try to do. That is my workspace, and I could not think of a better name, or representation rather, of the artist at work than this image. My computer's over there, got an easel over here. Those frame pictures are not anything that I did. It goes all the way down the wall. And my printer is over here in the corner, along with my vacuum cleaner that I like never use because what is the point, honestly, when you're just gonna make it filthy again in 5 seconds. There's wire and stuff all over the floor. But this is my tower. And I am very appreciative that Mom just kind of, well, okay, Mom had nothing to do with this. I just kind of brought my table up here from my apartment when I moved back in and set all this up, and didn't tell her about it. So she got to discover that on her own. Because no one comes up here except me to, like, play video games and shit. So I said, no one's gonna be bothered by this, and there's nothing in this big empty landing. So it's mine now, and you'll just tell I'll have to deal with that. That's kind of the way I have to work in this family. You may have noticed I'm making another Tower of Pimps. That's for my friend Sarah, who you've seen in other videos. I'm trying to get other episodes of The Basement to happen, but my friends are difficult to get a hold of. One of them's in college, the other one lives on the coast now. So we have to work with what we've got, and that may or may not be a very short-lived series. I do the best I can, and this, hi, sorry about that, professionalism, what's that? It's almost like I've forgotten how to do this or something. I also got a job. I have a job now. Olive's a waitress, and I'm gonna make a video specifically where I talk about things that have been happening to me at this job, because being a waitress is something I've never done before, so it's a very new experience, and it's a very different environment from when I worked at Chick-fil-A, which was my first job when I was 16, and I may or may not have discussed it at certain points in other videos. I'll probably do a lot of compare and contrast in the video where I talk about my waitressing incidents. There have been a few. I've only been there about 6 weeks, so it's not like, you know, this laundry list of things, but it's enough to make a decent video out of, just things that I've noticed, things that are different, mistakes I made, things like that. It's pretty amusing, so look forward to that probably today. What else has been going on in Olive's life? Honestly, not a huge amount. I've just been kind of hanging out in my tower most of the time and feeling a bit like a mad scientist because honestly, that's kind of what art is. It's like mad science with less explosions depending on what kind of art you're doing. I am going back up to app this fall. I sent in all the forms and shit that I need to like re-enroll, and I need to bug them about registration soon. And I have 2 more classes. I have my huge scary seminar class that I'm going to try and make, like, I'm going to pick a different class that might be a little easier to work with than the one that I was in that I got all intimidated and screwed up with. And I have 1 more literature class. And I'm going to try to take them both at the same time because summer school does not offer the level I need. Of course it doesn't. But it would have been more ideal to just not going out in summer school, because summer school is a lot easier than regular school, I guess. And I do well in my summer school classes, like I make B's and A's, as opposed to the regular semester where I lose my mind and I get the winter downs and crazy shit happens and I make C's and D's. Me and school are like no longer friends, and I'm gonna be a 6-year senior, and I'm not happy about that, but that's the way life goes. What else? You know, after 3 months you would think I would have more to talk about than this, but honestly I haven't been doing a whole lot. It's been cold, so I don't really get out much. It's snowing right now. Snowing and sleeting and being generally gross and miserable outside. It's about 29 and dropping. Yesterday was 70 degrees. What happened? Am I in Boone? This is the kind of crap, this is like a typical week in Boone, where the temperature will be like super friggin' warm and then really, really cold and it'll snow and you're just like, what happened? I don't know, but North Carolina weather, what are you gonna do? So I've been being kind of lazy, actually. Like, I'm really tired. I worked about 8.5 hours yesterday. That's a long time for a server, and I'm really exhausted. So, And I've been like staying up super late because when I get home it's late at night, and I just am like, well, I'm gonna do something besides work today, so I stay up, mess around on the computer and things like that. So it's not the best sleep schedule in the world, I'm gonna admit that. But I never have had the best sleep schedule in the world, and you guys know that. And if you don't know that, you're probably new or you haven't been paying attention. My friend and I saw the Lego Movie the other day, and while it was very, very good and I love the animation, it also kind of fucked with my head a little bit. Yeah. Like, I already had, like, weird thoughts where I thought I was a child's plaything anyway, or, like, a character in some weird giant being's book, or maybe I exist in someone else's head, because apparently part of string theory is something like that, like where all the little neurons in your head that kind of look like galaxies because they're almost exactly the same shape. Look it up, I swear it's true. Apparently, like, you have, like, infinite universes in your head, and writing is just, like, catching glimpses of those universes, and it freaks me out, but I love it. Like, this is kind of weird shit that I love because I am, in fact, a writer. So I'm like, oh, that would be really neat. I don't think I'm smart enough to write a book about it because quantum theory is not really my thing beyond a certain point. But that's cool. But then the Lego Movie brought up sort of a similar concept, only on kind of a kid's level, but at the same time, as an adult who analyzes everything, it got kind of weird toward the end there. But I'm not going to, like, spoil it for you if you haven't seen it, but you should. And you should also see Frozen if you haven't seen it, because animation, it makes my little artist heart melt a little bit. But you know, that's a topic for a different video, I believe, because I could go on and on about that. I am trying to work on my writing a little more, and I might be posting some of it to my Tumblr page. I may not. I'm not sure. In addition to jewelry, though, I have started a sort of singular, very nice, like, book-bound sketchbook that I am trying to draw every single one of my individual currently existing characters in. So all of my references will be in the same fucking place, and I don't have to, like, pull out, like, 8 sketchbooks to show people things, and, it should be good. I'm gonna try to color all of it. I make no promises because I've never had a sketchbook where I colored every single image in my entire life. Illustration is hard, you guys, but I'm gonna try and provide, like, some info on each page, and it's gonna be pretty cool, I think. So I'm dedicating my attention to that for a while, and I'm gonna be making some wire sculptures soon, and I wish I had, I'll put a picture in the video, I wish I had the sculpture I completed recently. It's a peacock, and he's about that big. And he is, so far, my greatest 3D art accomplishment besides, like, a wreath and my general jewelry to date. He is my greatest 3D work, and I'm very pleased with him. So I will be making other similar sculptures of other animals and dragons, and I have a very large project plan that I might do some art videos of if I can coordinate a good angle for the camera to be at and things like that. Because my desk, as you saw, is covered in stuff, so if I try to put the tripod on it, it might fall over or just not fit. So I'll try to make more art videos because I find them interesting. I think time-lapse is pretty fun to mess with. We'll see. I might film while I draw in my sketchbook today. I promise I'm going to try and make more videos. And I feel bad for, like, just disappearing for like 3 or 4 months. But things got a little hectic there for a while. I had to go up to Boone twice to move out all my shit from my apartment because my car is tiny. So when I initially left Boone, I could not take it all with me. So I just packed, like, clothes and things that would, like, press down and wouldn't break, and essentials like sketchbooks and food and things like that I wanted to take, and came home because I was ready to get the fuck out. And then I had to come back up with my friend Allie, who has an SUV, to get the table and like my 2 chairs and, well, my 1 chair and my other little tiny table that was in the corner over there, and you know, that kind of stuff. And we couldn't fit it all in her SUV because of the furniture, and I was really, really annoyed, so I came back up and got the rest of it later. But upon arriving at my apartment after being gone for, I was gone maybe a total of 4 days, me and Allie discovered that Allie and I, English major, English, I have a degree in this. Doesn't that make you feel good? College is so useful. Anyway, we discovered that my apartment reeked so badly of cigarette smoke that you could barely breathe, and my throat and eyes immediately started to burn the second I walked into the apartment. Some of my personal items, like clothes and notebooks and my work table and stuff, still kind of faintly smell of cigarettes. Like, it is that heavily saturated into everything that was in that apartment. So that was exciting. Everything I owned smelled like it, and I had the door to my room shut, but, you know, ventilation systems and all, and so that was nice. And so I had to go and talk to my landlords about it and be like, look, I don't know when this happened, I've only been gone a few days, but I don't smoke, I don't want to get charged for this shit because the entire apartment is now basically uninhabitable. And they said they had received a complaint from, like, the new girl who was moving in that she has asthma and couldn't breathe, so she had to physically leave the apartment. Like, she couldn't be in there. I don't know if they ever got it sorted out. They did call me the other morning at, like, 9 o'clock and to tell me that the maintenance guy was there and I could go let him in. And I was like, I haven't lived there in months. Why are you calling me now? I'm not Mackenzie. I'm not the other two. Like, don't call me anymore. I'm not in an apartment in Boone right now, and I haven't been for 3 months. Just go away. I'm not talking to you. It was just very weird, and I was half asleep. So when I woke up, I wondered if I dreamed that for a while, and then I checked my phone, and I was like, oh, it wasn't a dream. Alright then. Good job, guys. Organization. I guess not everybody can do it. I certainly can't, but this is an attempt at organization, but I end up leaving stuff out because I use it a lot, and just, yeah. I may be smart, but I'm not organized. What else? I felt like there was more to my life than this. Well, there was more to my life than this. Mostly my life has been either art, work, or internet. Because it's too cold for me to go outside still. Although I did go to the Greenway the other day, and that was nice. And I was like, oh my god, it's warm, and I'm back out in the woods where I should be, and, you know, I feel awesome, and... Oh! The thing! The thing! How did I forget to talk about that? Wow, self, come on now, that was a major event. So yeah, I got my gallbladder out. That was the thing that happened to me, pretty much, 2 weeks after I got home, from being in Boone and getting all my shit taken care of up there. Yeah, I told you how I was sick and all back when I was in my apartment, and trying to deal with all my school shit, and I told you that I, like, felt fucking miserable, and, yeah, had all that weird testing done, and, yeah. So I had to get it removed, and... really, it was not bad at all. I'm just terrified of medical things, so it was the anticipation that kills me. But it went well. I have 3 lovely scars along my ribs here. Very small, they're just kind of little red things. I could show you if I was feeling weird. Meh. I mean, you see me in a bikini, so it's not really the end of the world. But, They looked pretty bad and nasty when I first had them. They made 4 incisions in my torso. One of them was in my belly button, and it does not have a scar at all. It actually healed the best out of any of my incisions, which is strange. Because you would think that it would like have more chance for issues just being in that spot, but it didn't, so that's good. But yeah, so now I can eat cheese again, and that is something I am so happy about, because 90% of my diet is cheese. I realize it's probably a problem. Not really 90%, but I eat a lot of cheese. I love cheese. And that's where most of my calcium comes from, so I kind of need to be eating that. And I can have alcohol again, and it doesn't make me have horrible, horrible pain. But I'm still a lightweight, so I can't have too much of it anyway. But yeah, that happened, and the week that I was recovering was very uncomfortable and extremely painful. It hurt me to do pretty much anything that required any kind of movement whatsoever. Through like here, because they have to like jack up all your muscles and shit like that to get to your actual innards and all. So I was very uncomfortable for about a week and a half-ish. But in terms of surgery recovery time, that's actually very good, so it could have been a lot worse, because back in my grandpa's day, when he got his removed, they had to make like a giant incision from like here to there and like cut you wide open, and you have a giant scar, and just you would recover for like 6 weeks or some shit, and it was horrible. So I'm very grateful I didn't have to endure anything like that. Thank you, modern medical technology. The only problem was I started work about pretty much the instant that I was well enough to start working, which means that I was not entirely recovered yet, and so, well, I was recovered enough to like start doing shit, but I couldn't carry like big giant food trays, you know, like regular restaurants do, so I kept having to have people do it for me, which I felt bad about, but you know what, I don't want to hurt myself. I was not allowed to do any kind of heavy lifting, obviously, because I would tear myself up and shit like that. But now I'm fine, and my life is 1,000 times better, and I'm not in horrible pain just constantly, and I'm not depressed anymore, so life is good. So yeah, I'm gonna be... Calm down, dear skull, don't be terrifying. I discovered, speaking of that skull again, that there are many websites on the internet that will just sell you skeletons of pieces of animal skeletons and skulls and things like that, and I discovered that bones are very expensive. And I'm not talking like $50, I'm talking $300 to like $3,000 and up. I don't know why skeletons' bones are so expensive. I know they're like, you know, cleaned professionally and like museum quality. Like they're for like artists and museums and science classes and colleges and shit like that. Like, you know, those kinds of typical things that you could use skeletons for. But in addition to animal remains, you can buy human bones on the internet, and it is completely legal to do that. Like, there's nothing in the law that says you cannot own like a real human skeleton. I'm still trying to decide how I feel about that. It weirded me out when I was initially searching for places that could sell me animal bones for jewelry and stuff. Yeah, I would never use human bones in my art. I think that's a little bit creepy. I don't want ghosts in my house. Yes, I do believe in ghosts very intensively. I'm a little bit on the superstitious side, but selectively. Like, I love black cats. I think they're marvelous, and I want one day. But, like, if I, like, spill salt or something, I'm throwing it over the shoulder instantly. I knock on wood, you know, that kind of crap. But I do not want ghosts in my house, so if you wanted stuff with human bones in it, you're gonna have to find a different artist. I don't care if they're donated skeletons or not. That's weird. I'm sorry. I do have a limit to my madness, at least for the moment. I'm not that weird yet. Yeah, so I am going to make a working in a restaurant video, and then I'm going to point the camera at my hands and do some time-lapse stuff while I color and sketch on my character work, because I really do want to share some of my character work and writing with the internet a little more than I have, because I need to motivate myself a little more to actually be writing and doing more work with this stuff in a more functional way, instead of just like, I'm a writer, but most of my writing's in my head, which is apparently a mutual writer problem for every writer that I know, and several on the internet who talk about it all the time, and I'm just like, yay, I'm not the only one who writes but doesn't physically write because it's tedious. Yeah. So, we are going to go with that, and I will try to vlog more often, and if I come up with anything else to talk about, I will surely make a video. Leave me comments, tell me if you liked it or not, and we will all just go forward together into the unknown. Until next time, I'm the Olive Dragon. Please visit my Etsy store, like and subscribe. See you later.